He wasn't the quiet, wise mentor who offered guidance from the shadows. He was the guy who could suck the energy out of a Jedi Council meeting just by raising an eyebrow. Mace Windu didn't offer insight, he offered judgment. And he did it with the confidence of someone who absolutely never second-guessed anything in his life. From the second he shows up, you just know this guy has never said the words, "I was wrong." Not once. He's like if your high school vice principal got a lightsaber and a seat on the galaxy's most condescending board of directors. And the best part, he genuinely thinks that tone of voice counts as leadership. And look, yeah, he was powerful. Yeah, he was respected. But so is a malfunctioning droid that nobody knows how to turn off. That doesn't mean it's wise. Mace wasn't there to challenge the system. He was the system. And he treated every free thinker like they just committed treason by having an opinion. The man looked Anakin Skywalker in the face and said he didn't trust him, while asking him to spy on the most dangerous Sith in history, then acted surprised when it blew up in his face. Like that's not a red flag, that's the whole parade. And Mace Windu was proudly leading it while handing out Jedi pamphlets. And it wasn't just Anakin, Ahsoka, Yoda, his own council members. If you weren't lockstep with the script he was reading from, you were wrong by default. He wasn't a Jedi Master. He was a walking HR violation in a robe. But no one wanted to admit it because he was great with a lightsaber and even better at glaring. In this video, we're breaking down exactly how Mace Windu became the Jedi Order's biggest red flag. Not because he was evil or corrupt or secretly a Sith, but because he was so obsessed with control, so allergic to vulnerability, that he helped turn the Jedi into exactly what they swore they'd never become. Cold, blind, and completely unprepared for the storm heading right toward them. We always talk about the Jedi's downfall like it was some great, tragic mystery. But what if the warning signs were right there, front and center, wrapped in purple robes with a matching lightsaber? What if Mace Windu wasn't just a strong leader, but the clearest sign the Order had completely lost its way? He wasn't just part of the system, he was the system. The embodiment of Jedi rigidity and emotional shutdown. No flexibility, no nuance, no space for doubt. Just one look from Windu, and you knew the conversation was over before it started. And yeah, on the surface, the guy looks impressive. The posture, the voice, the quiet authority. But peel back that exterior, and what do you get? A man who never questioned anything unless it made him personally uncomfortable. A gatekeeper with a lightsaber and a god complex. He wasn't there to challenge the Order's flaws. He was there to enforce them. His idea of leadership was cutting you off mid-sentence and reminding you that feelings are for the weak. The only emotion he showed consistently was mild irritation. So maybe the real question isn't why the Jedi fell. Maybe it's why no one saw Windu as the biggest red flag in the entire temple. Because when your top Jedi can't even fake empathy, maybe you're not building peacekeepers. Maybe you're just building enforcers. Let's just get this out there. Mace Windu was exhausting. Not because he was strict, but because he acted like compassion was a personal insult. It didn't matter who you were, what you'd done, or how dire the situation was. If you didn't fit his Jedi mold, you were dismissed before you even opened your mouth. When Anakin walked into the council chamber, desperate, terrified, and trying to do the right thing, Windu's response was not, "Thank you," or "Let's talk." It was pure suspicion, layered in condescension. If what you've told me is true, you will have gained my trust. That wasn't diplomacy. That was arrogance. And don't forget how he treated Ahsoka, when she was accused of a crime she didn't commit and nearly exiled from the Order. Mace just shrugged it off. Then, once she was proven innocent, had the audacity to say it was a great trial and she should be proud. The man couldn't read a room if it was made of datapads and glowing text. Even among the Jedi, he was the mood killer. Always quick to cut off debate, shoot down alternatives, and enforce the code like it was carved into the Force itself. There's being disciplined, and then there's being emotionally unavailable to the point of galactic risk. Windu didn't just make bad calls. He made them confidently, dismissively, and without remorse. And the worst part is the council let him do it, because he sounded like he knew what he was doing, even when it was painfully clear he didn't. What makes this worse is what could have been. Mace Windu had all the pieces to be a great leader. The strength, the presence, the discipline, but none of the heart. And the fallout from that emotional void is written all over the prequel trilogy. When Anakin was cracking under the weight of war, grief, and confusion, he needed someone steady, someone honest but understanding, and instead he got Mace Windu, a man who saw trust as a weakness and empathy as a distraction. Even Yoda, for all his flaws, occasionally showed regret, occasionally admitted doubt. Mace never did. He operated with the cold confidence of someone who thought emotion was a virus to be quarantined, not a reality to be navigated. And because of that, he left damage in his wake. Not from action, but from inaction. From the things he refused to feel, the questions he refused to ask, and the connections he never bothered to build with the people who needed him most. In a time when the Jedi were already slipping, when the lines between peacekeeping and military occupation were getting blurrier every day, Windu could have slowed the descent. Instead, he sped it up by doubling down on detachment. Still, credit where credit's due. Mace Windu wasn't just powerful, he was terrifying in the best way possible. You could drop him into the worst battle in the galaxy, and he'd cut through it like it was a training simulation. The man was a walking declaration of war in Jedi robes. His fighting style vapid literally flirted with the dark side. It took rage and violence and redirected them without falling into them. That's not just technique. That's mastery on a level most Jedi couldn't dream of. And somehow, he made it look effortless. When he faced off against Darth Sidious, it wasn't luck that got him that far. It was sheer dominance. For a few minutes, it looked like the entire galaxy might hinge on Mace Windu, and he actually had Palpatine cornered. Blade to chin. The whole deal. Even Palpatine didn't mess around with him. He didn't monologue or taunt. He went straight for the kill, because he knew, if Windu didn't get blindsided by a conflicted Skywalker, that fight might have ended the Sith once and for all. Say what you want about his emotional skid set, but when it came to combat, Mace Windu was the real deal. No drama, no flair. Just raw, focused strength, in a fight that demanded everything and gave nothing back. And maybe that's why people still defend him. Because even with all the attitude and judgment, there was a sense that he genuinely believed he was protecting the galaxy. That if he just held firm, if he just stayed cold enough, strong enough, the Jedi might survive the storm. You get the feeling he thought empathy would break him, that if he gave in for even a second, everything would unravel. So instead of bending, he became the wall. And sometimes, when things are falling apart, people cling to walls, no matter how harsh they are. Maybe he really thought the code was enough, that rules and structure would be the shield against the darkness. And maybe if someone had challenged that belief earlier, not with anger, but with sincerity, he might have softened. There's something sad about watching someone carry that much weight alone. Something noble, even. But it doesn't excuse the damage. It just explains the fear behind it. Windu wasn't heartless. He was scared of what might happen if he actually listened to his own. Maybe there was a better version of Mace buried under all that control. One that could have changed everything if someone had reached him first. Before the war, before the fall, before the fear took over. But that version never got to exist. Because the Mace Windu we got was the one who refused to change. The one who never questioned if the code he enforced was slowly turning the Jedi into soldiers instead of peacekeepers. His death wasn't a surprise. It was the final beat in a song he'd been playing since the start. Cold judgment, rigid leadership, and a total refusal to see people as anything more than potential liabilities. He didn't trust Anakin. He didn't believe in Ahsoka. He didn't listen to his peers. And in the end, he died trying to control a system that was already broken. Not by evil, but by fear disguised as order. Windu thought discipline was the answer to everything. But it was his unwillingness to bend that broke him. And maybe that's the real legacy. A cautionary tale about what happens when strength loses sight of compassion. Because, in the end, Mace Windu wasn't the villain. But he also wasn't the hero. He was the red flag we all ignored. The warning sign standing tall at the heart of the Jedi Order. And when he fell, the whole house came down with him. Thank you for watching the whole video. I make videos because of my love for Star Wars and Marvel. I've been asked countless times how I get my subtitles, and I generate them automatically with a tool I built. That same tool can be used here on my website. It's completely free and doesn't require signing up. My website contains the subtitle generator that is perfect for any video. Blogging post, where you can sign up with your email and receive notifications for when I post, and also my 3 channels. Critical Analysis Hub focuses on Star Wars and Marvel movies. Critical Analysis Hub Plus looks at Star Wars and Marvel shows. And Critical Analysis Hub XP centers on video games, like The Last of Us series, Jedi Survivor, and GTA 5. Thank you for being a fan.